Have you ever wondered if the way your mind analyzes everything today was always part of you? What if there was a time when your inner voice didn't need to calculate, compare, or judge, when it simply guided you by instinct? Today, let's explore how our analytical mind gradually replaced that original, natural guidance. In our previous discussions, we discovered that every action and behavior stems from our mind's analyses. Every choice, what we say, how we react, even what we feel, originates from a mental evaluation. And those evaluations depend on a set of standards, parameters, or criteria that the mind uses to judge what is safe, valuable, or meaningful. But this raises a key question. Was our mind always meant to work this way? Did we begin life wired with criteria for every decision? Or did something change over time to give analysis its dominant role? To answer that, we need to look back at our inner workings before analysis took the wheel. Before we became Homo sapiens, every living creature functioned by a built-in guidance system, an instinctive mechanism focused on survival and security. In other words, a bird does not pause to run a cost-benefit calculation when it spots a hawk overhead. It simply reacts, flee, hide, or freeze. The same goes for a deer sensing a distant footstep. It bolts without thinking because its entire nervous system is tuned to preserve life. In humans, that same instinctive drive once held primacy. Seek food, find shelter, avoid danger. Our earliest ancestors, long before complex speech or tools, moved without deliberation. They did not ask, "Should I cross this river?" They simply did what kept them alive. That unspoken, automatic guidance was our original inner center, a silent navigator that needed no explanation. At some point in our evolutionary journey, as our brain's analytical capacity expanded, a new faculty began to emerge. This faculty allowed us to weigh options. Should I hunt now or wait for a better moment? Compare outcomes. If I gather these berries, are they safe or poisonous? Remember past events in fine detail and predict future ones. Last time we struck a flint, the fire went out. Maybe choose a different location? Instead of acting on pure instinct, the brain started to parse each situation. That analytical part did not appear overnight. It grew gradually, rewiring neural pathways, strengthening new circuits, and gathering data from each narrow escape or successful hunt. Over generations, analysis became faster, louder, and more insistent. Suddenly, the instinctive guidance, once the unquestioned pilot, found itself inching aside. The mind asked questions that instinct could neither see nor answer. Is that rock the right shape for a spear point? Would that hollow log hold enough water? As analysis sharpened, it began to override the automatic, just do it of instinct. There was never a clear switch where instinct turned off and analysis turned on. Instead, they overlapped until analysis gradually assumed command. Here's how that shift took place. 1. Expanded neural connectivity. As the brain's frontal and prefrontal areas grew, they formed dense networks specialized in reasoning and planning. These networks processed information more slowly, but in far greater detail than the older instinctive circuits. 2. Priority shift. At first, instinct and analysis cooperated, but as analytical circuits proved useful, planning ambushes, inventing tools, avoiding toxins, the brain began prioritizing analysis over gut-level reflexes. The inner navigator became a second-seat passenger. 3. decline in pure instinct. O, in everyday life, this meant that before responding to any event, like the snap of a twig, we no longer just reacted. Instead, the mind asked, is it a threat or just an animal stirring leaves? That split-second analysis delayed our response, but often gave us a more nuanced course of action. Over time, analysis grew so dominant that we began to assume it was our only way of knowing. The older instinctive hint, our silent inner compass, felt distant. When faced with an urgent choice, rather than simply do what feels right, we started second-guessing ourselves. Should I really do that? What could go wrong? Without realizing it, we had replaced instinct with analysis as our primary guide. Now that analysis has taken the lead, it's vital to understand how it actually works and why it can never fully replace the original guidance. At its core, analytical thinking relies on criteria, predefined standards to judge good or bad, safe or dangerous. Parameters, conditions or rules by which situations are measured. Comparisons, the ability to weigh one scenario against another using those criteria. In other words, analysis always asks, compared to what? It cannot simply look at a situation and know what to do. Instead, it must draw on something already stored in the mind, an existing yardstick. Imagine you see a new fruit. The mind cannot say, is it safe, until it has a rule. For example, soft, sweet fruits are usually edible. Hard, moldy ones aren't. Without that rule in place, analysis freezes. It cannot decide until it knows what to compare. In short, to analyze anything, the mind must already have criteria in place. It can never be purely objective or free-floating. Analytical thought is never blank slate thinking. It must relate every new observation back to what it already knows. When the analytical mind became our chief navigator, several significant consequences followed. 1. We lost instinct, embodied wisdom. Instinct responds in milliseconds. Analysis takes longer, time we rarely have in a true emergency. By defaulting to analysis, we sometimes miss valuable intuitions that once kept us safe. 2. We live according to preset criteria. Because analysis must compare to something, it continually re-examines life through a fixed set of rules. When those rules are outdated or incomplete, our decisions can feel stuck. We might refuse a new opportunity because it doesn't fit our old criteria, even if it's precisely what we need. 3. We experience perpetual second-guessing. Analysis never stops questioning. Am I right? Is this best? What if I got it wrong? That cycle of doubt can paralyze us from taking action, even when action is needed most. Yet, we cannot demonize analysis. It's responsible for every tool, every invention, every leap forward in human history. The issue isn't that analysis exists, it's that it replaced an equally vital wisdom, our instinctive inner guide. We traded an unexamined but reliable compass for a relentless inner critic, and we started calling that progress. To move forward, we must remember both navigators. Instinctive guidance, the natural compass that responds immediately without debate, a whisper of yes or no from our deeper self. Analytical reasoning, the tool that dissects, compares, and plans, a logical process built on criteria and insight. Neither voice is flawless on its own. Instinct can be crude and imprecise, sometimes leading us into danger. Analysis can be paralyzing and rigid, often causing us to miss life's flow. The key is not to eliminate one, but to allow both to guide us where they each excel. Today, we traced how our analytical mind quietly edged out the innate inner guide, a transformation so subtle we rarely notice it. We saw that analysis always needs criteria to function, making it powerful yet inherently limited. We lost something precious, our fast embodied wisdom, and replaced it with a mind that never stops questioning. Now, let me leave you with questions to carry forward. How did we become so dominated by analysis? Where did these criteria come from, and why do we trust them so implicitly? Can you sense the moment analysis kicks in and choose instead to listen to your deeper guidance? If you enjoyed this part of our journey, make sure to check out the Sight and Soul series, Watch and Order playlist linked below, so you can see how we arrived at analysis in the first place. We won't answer these questions today. Instead, we invite you to sit with them. In our next episode, we'll examine how we became so analysis-driven and where our mental criteria first took root. That deeper exploration will help us understand not just that the shift happened, but how and why it happened. If this video sparked a new question in your mind, share it below. Which force, instinct, or analysis do you feel has guided your life the most? Drop a comment and let's begin the conversation. If you're intrigued to continue this journey, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you won't miss our next deep dive. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay curious about what guides you from within.